Hello and welcome to another episode of My Backstage Pass. This is your host, Lee Zimmerman, and I'm here with my producer, co-host, and good buddy, Billy Hubbard. And today we're just excited and delighted to have the wonderful Miss Rachael Sage as our guest. Hi, Rachael.
Well, hello. It is so great to be part of this. I'm honored to be invited.
We're honored to have you here.
Thank you for being here.
We really are. And, I've told Billy I had the honor and pleasure of introducing you as our keynote speaker at the Southeast Regional Folk Alliance meeting last May. And
Indeed.
I've had the pleasure of seeing you perform and getting to know you a bit. And so it's just a great delight to have you with us here, Rachael. It really is.
I am really excited, and I love a good podcast, but especially with two fine gentlemen with Southern accents. How could I resist?
I don't know if I have the Southern. Oh,
A little twang.
yeah.
Audience reacted to that one.
There you go. You live in New York, in Brooklyn, is it that where you live?
No, I'm in upstate New York, but I still
should
do.
have known that. Okay.
I keep a foot in Manhattan in the East Village. That's where our record label, Empress Records, still
Yes.
resides. So
Yes.
I'm kind of back and forth between the lovely fall foliage and the mean streets of downtown New York.
Which is where your video was shot. We were watching your video, and you were looked like you were in the heart of Manhattan there.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. My forthcoming video for Albatross, you recognized probably my own block there, East First Street.
Aha.
Path of least resistance. If you can walk out your own front door and have a vibe, why venture further?
There you go. There you go. We're in Billy's home studio right now. And I walk out the front door and I say, where am I? Really, where am I? I don't quite know. But
That was a cool video, though. I was watching your shadow on that back. I think, how did that happen? You have sometimes, I know, green screens and things, but it was put together really well.
yeah.
I appreciate that. You were the first to see it. It's not even out yet, but it
Really?
comes out next week. Yeah, that video. And it was a collaboration between myself and a wonderful brand new director. Her name is Pearl, and her husband edited it. He shot it. And then my longtime recording engineer actually has just ventured into video editing, John Shalasky. So we all put our creative heads together, and I don't know if I want to give away the magic of all of the
I don't know. I was going to
projections, but-
ask you. There's some elements
it
I was
was-
going to ask you about, but I guess we shouldn't now. We shouldn't.
No, you can ask, but let's see. What can I say to continue the mystery? Basically, I wanted to do live projections, and I'm sure you've seen that method where you can just literally project imagery onto someone's skin, onto their body, onto a wall, onto anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the logistics in that didn't quite come together, so we used a little tech savvy and made it look like that's what was happening.
That
but
was
yeah,
fascinating.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
Actually,
you can
what caught my eye with it, just for some reason, I zeroed in. You had I was looking, your shadow of your body was cast on what I thought was a green screen.
Oh, that's real. That's just some lighting. Some
Yeah.
folks who know what they're doing with a little lighting in the background. But
It was kind of
yeah, I thought you were talking about. There are some parts of the video where there's a dancer, and my face is
dancer.
like projected
Yeah.
over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee was trying that move. I told him.
Meanwhile, we're talking about something that isn't even out in the world yet.
Oh,
but
Yeah, I
it
know.
will be
I
very,
know,
very
I
soon.
know.
Very
Oh, yeah.
soon.
We shouldn't be
Oh, it will be
spoilers.
what time we release. So it will be.
Yeah.
That's-
well,
oh,
that's
okay.
true. By the time, when
That
we,
is true.
A couple of weeks.
it
Probably.
will. It will. So I can ask you about the dancer. Did you know the dancer was back there while you were singing? Did you know? Because very expressive, and we were both trying to decide. I wonder if Rachael knows the dancer is there. If you turn around, would you go, "Oh, who are you?" Oh, no. Okay.
Well, he was.
I know all because
Okay.
I am Oz. I'm the little bossy boss.
There you go.
And I am just so fortunate always to work with such a beautiful, creative round table of wonderful artists, and love collaborating. But as you know, Lee, the buck stops with me.
That's it.
It's my name on it, and at the end of the day, there are so many ideas that are kind of floating around and in the air, and it's my job to kind of grab the ones I think really will resonate the most. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that video, and
We did.
it'll be fun to put it out in the world.
Yeah.
There's another one actually out right now for The Place of Fun, which I know is a track that you and Billy
the
have
opening
honed
track
in
of the
on.
new album.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, creativity, I would think, is part of your DNA because you're not only an artist, you're an entrepreneur with your own label. So it's really kind of a left brain, right brain kind of situation that you have going there. And
I suppose it is, although, I'm also ADHD. So I think there's just a fun, random alphabet soup happening in my brain at all times.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's not always easy. I mean, seriously, it's not always easy to, find the creative and the business side in sync. And yet somehow you have managed to do what a lot of artists have attempted to do, but haven't been as successful, I mean.
Well, that's very kind of you to say.
It's true.
Lee.
It's true.
I think,
Empress is a wonderful record label. A wonderful label.
I am so fortunate. It's been an amazing journey and an incredible adventure for almost 3 decades now,
Wow.
if you can believe that. I picked the name when I was a little wee thing, just self-developing in downtown New York, playing places like the Bitter End and Cafe Chenet. And I was just trying to think of a name that, I could grow into with a record label. And a bunch of them, were in my head. I almost called it Sorceress Records. And then I got a cease and desist from Sorcerer Sound, which was a recording studio nearby at the time. And Empress was also there. And I was just thinking, how can I nod to not only, an empowered kind of a femininity and, all of the strong women who have forged the way for me, but also, a word with multiple meanings, because you know how I love that as a poet. And Empress became the thing. And I was going to spell it normally. And then I thought, why spell it normally when I can make it M and then press, and it becomes about vinyl and other things as well. So,
and it
there we
also
were.
impress. That's what I think of. Impress as in impressive. I mean,
That's a happy accident, but not what I was thinking of at all.
okay. Well, that's kind of what I
I'll
was
take it back.
thinking of,
I'll
Rachel.
take it.
Because there's a lot there that does impress. Yeah, it really does.
Well, as you know, I have a fabulous team, and I could not do any of it alone. You've had the good fortune to meet a couple of them.
Yes, I have.
Meredith Tarr and Jill Richmond Johnson. Of course, JoJo Gentry sort of keeps everything organized for us back in our New York digs, and wonderful Dana, who's on our social media. So these are some incredible women, and it's sort of happenstance that's how the team has evolved. We've had all kinds of folks through the years, but we really do have a great kind of family-oriented team right now. And we just got off a really fun Zoom call together, and we laugh a lot. We do kind of complete each other's thoughts and sentences, and I just feel very, very fortunate to have that that luxury.
I would dare say that they feel very fortunate to be working with you as well. No, I mean, seriously.
Thank you.
And because before we started on the air, I started gushing, and I said, I'm going to save the gushing for the podcast. But I'm saying this very, very sincerely, because, Rachel, when you walk into a room, whether you're taking a stage or just making your entrance, you light up that room. You have just this buoyant, sparkling personality that just emanates from you. And it's very real and just very affirming. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, thank you. I do kind of consider it my mission in life to hopefully enliven and uplift people. And life is not always fun and games, but I do really take it seriously, this role that somehow I evolved into, of being kind of equal parts writer and journalist, and entertainer and uplifter, kind of an artsy life coach from the stage. And hopefully I've learned enough lessons in my own life along the way, but also retained a kind of a sense of humor about it all, and a humility that strikes a balance. That's what I'm always striving for, is that sense of balance of, knowing some things and knowing nothing, and juggling them in an entertaining and hopefully, transformative fashion.
Well, you have definitely succeeded. I mean, I remember when I saw you for the first time at a Folk Alliance confab several years ago, and I was mildly familiar with your music, but when you walked out there and you sat behind the piano, I said, "This is a unique and special individual, and a performer that makes a wonderful impression." Sorry, that just came to me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Billy, I'm sure you relate to this too. I know you're a wonderful performer,
Yes,
as well as this fabulous podcast host, who we're not letting get a word in edgewise. But
I do that on
this
purpose.
is my attempt to widen the circle, being the folkie that I am. But we know as performers and writers that what we do is not always going to be for everyone, and that's okay.
Right,
and while our ongoing goal is to include as many listeners as possible and hopefully gain a wider and wider audience, there are moments along the way where it's a growing experience, recognizing that if you are sticking to your own vision and doing something that you love, that doesn't always equate to being the most popular creation. So,
very true.
That's another thing that makes it all very interesting.
Your personality, I barely know you, but just hearing you talking to you, I can already tell your personality is so palatable. It's I can see how live you'd be a great entertainer.
Yeah, and you can see why I'm gushing.
I
I'm literally gushing over here. It's very messy.
Well, I have a little secret for you guys. I think Lee may know this, but I was a radio DJ before I was a professional musician. So
really? Okay.
But I used to kind of use this very radio-friendly voice in the middle of the night, basically. My time was midnight to 6 a.m. And I would say, "Hey, you're listening to Full Moon Rachael on KZSU Stanford. And here's the new track from Sarah McLaughlin's Fumbling Toward Ecstasy." and it sort of gave me this relationship to chit chat and banter and talking to an imaginary audience that I think ultimately helped break the ice when I finally became a live performer.
Wow, you certainly have that voice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
We have to get you to do some commercials for us.
Yeah.
Sure, anytime.
and your latest albums, The Other Side, Another Side. I mean, the music on those albums just affirms what you're all about. I mean, just so, songs that really just grab you from the get-go and jump out, of the
thank you.
proverbial groove. And so I'm curious, where do these songs come from? Where do you find your muse, so to speak?
I was just going to make a little, I'm very self-deprecating. That doesn't mean I'm not confident. And,
no, I understand.
But I was going to make a little dig at myself when you said, these albums, and I am a little OCD about making them. I mean, I take my time with them. I relate a lot to people like Jane Siberry, who, we go into the studio and for us, it may be 6 months to a year or a year and a half. And it seems quick to other people, but the level of detail that I know she and I immerse ourselves in is pretty over the top. I'll like drop in on someone else's session and they do a few live takes and then bang together a vocal comp and they're happy. But there's something about the way I'm wired, and it might also be my many years of ballet training, where I really do believe that God is in the details. So for me, as a painter and as a songwriter, as a recording artist, I think my biggest challenge is turning off the faucet and recognizing that there are enough ideas on the table. There are enough tracks that we've done. There are enough takes, and then putting it together in a way that feels organic and honest and true, different, but true to the spirit of how I might do it live. So that's often what I'm striving for. And likewise in reverse, when I write songs nowadays, I instantly am considering how I might feel doing it live. Do I want to keep this on the piano? Do I want to go to the guitar? And, so all of those things are in play. Whereas when I was a little kid and just sitting at the piano writing melodies or words would pop into my head, it was very different. I didn't have that orientation to audience. It was entirely, for me, almost like diary entry, like baby Taylor Swift vibes. And then as the years have progressed, my relationship to audience and listeners is really very palpable while I'm creating. For better or worse, I don't know. It's just part of it. And I think that's probably going to increase as I keep doing this. Like, thinking about things like projections and artwork, in the background while I'm doing certain things, or dance. I'm very excited about a project I'm going to be doing in the new year with a wonderful musician named Dave Egar, cellist.
Oh, yeah. The cello
And we're going
player,
to be,
right? A cello?
he is phenomenal. Yeah, great cellist who plays with a lot of wonderful musicians. And so we're going to be working with a dance company called Attack Theater. And so as I'm conceiving this music that I'll be collaborating on with him and these dancers, it's influencing, the palette, what type of melodies, what type of tempos. And as a composer, that's all very, very interesting to me. So sometimes, to go back to your question, sometimes it's just these things that come out of the sky, they're lingering in the ether that you kind of grab, the way Leonard Cohen used to describe it. Or other times it's more of a concerted, crafted effort, and you're looking at all the parameters and you just kind of dive in and chip away, almost like you're making a sculpture, if that makes sense.
Cool. Blow all our budget trying to learn how to dance, I think, when we leave.
Yeah. No, I Billy, you don't know this, but I've kind of been taking a few dance lessons, and yes, I think that I have a way with modern dance. It's very sort of abstract and free flow.
That's incredible.
Yes, and
That's
yes,
you going to pull this out at the next Surfa? We're going to see you.
I think I might, Rachel.
Fabulous.
And I'm trying to be modest, but I would say that I'm a very free-flowing individual, and but I don't look good in tights, so that might kill it
Very
for
few
me.
people do.
Yeah,
Lady Gaga seems to have it down.
I did see him doing I saw you do the robot that day at the station.
Yeah,
the robot.
Yeah.
The robot. Listen, there are many cameo opportunities available for future videos. For
Really?
both of you. So just let me know. Don't be shy.
That. I won't be shy. I have to consider that. Yeah. So you again, you have this view of an all-inclusive view. From what you're saying, an all-inclusive view of what you do. It's more than just the songs, the performance of the songs. It's the entire concept and how they fit into an entire presentation. It's a very wide view that you have. Yeah.
That's true. On occasion, I get the sort of mental respite of someone asking me for a very specific type of song, sort of on commission, by a deadline. And there are things about that I love, because it is very sort of narrow and limited and focused. And that's a different type of challenge too. As you know, there was a song on this record, Another Side and the Other Side, that, and for your listeners, one is the full band, one is the acoustic version of the records.
Yes.
This song, Rebecca's husband, who is my co-producer engineer, Andy Zula, he asked me to compose a song for her birthday, somewhat under deadline, but by really the next day for a Zoom birthday party.
Okay.
And I said, well, I can't say no to you. Love her. Have to do this. But can you at least send me a list of your 10 favorite qualities about her? And so I crafted the song kind of like a Shakespearean list from those qualities. And that became the song Rebecca. And I liked it enough to ask if it was okay with her if I recorded and put it on my album. So,
Nice.
there are things like that happen. But for the most part, like your description of your modern dance, it's a little bit more of a flow and following the inspiration where it leads. And then when I have a group of songs that feel cohesive in some way or explore a theme in the broadest sense, those typically become the album.
Gotcha. Oh. Now, you mentioned before to us that you are getting ready to go on tour, right?
Yes.
Going to the UK. Where are you going?
That's right. My home away from home, as I call it.
Really?
And I knew you might ask me that. So I have my own website up in front of me to remind myself where the heck I'm going, because I often forget.
You don't have to think. If you have a good tour manager, you don't have to think.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I do. Meredith is wonderful.
Great.
So we're starting. This is kind of funny. I'm playing my first show in England, which will be opening for a fabulous pop duo from the UK called Hue and Cry.
Right.
And I really didn't know them very well before this, but now I certainly do. We're starting out in Gateshead at a place called the Sage 2. So how about that?
The Sage? It's called the Sage?
Yeah, that's the name of the theater, Glass House Sage 2. I'll have to write on their wall with Sharpie.
Wow.
And then we go all over. Cardiff, we're going to be in Wales, Manchester, Birmingham, handful of other places. And then I come back to the U.S. and get to chill a little bit before going to Northeast Regional Folk Alliance Conference, which is
right. In February, you're going to have a showcase at the Folk Alliance.
The National, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Which I think is in Montreal next year, if I'm not mistaken, I think.
That's right. Yeah. So 2 new places. The Northeast one is in Maine, which will be fun. And then Montreal. So are you going to be there? I hope.
I'm going to try. I need to be underwritten.
I understand. Yes.
Yeah. So
don't
I
we
would
all?
love to. I love Montreal. And
that's a good lyric. I need to be underrated and just put like a 4 on the floor beat to it and like put it through a bullet mic.
Are you thinking of making that into a song? If so, I want.
Now I am.
I want.
This is how the magic happens. Sure. Billy's going to do the guitar part.
Yeah.
I need to be underrated.
Yeah, well, that could be. I don't know. I think we could work with that, Rachel. I think we could.
So too. It could be a very sensual track. Perhaps not right for the folk community, but we'll see.
Who did the song "I Want to Be Sedated"?
Very similar concept.
Yes, I want to be underrated. Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna play a song from the new album. What do we have queued up here, Billy?
We got "The Place of Fun" off of Another Side.
Oh, the Place of Fun off Another Side. Okay,
off Another Side album.
And it's a wonderful.
Yeah, let's give it a spin.
Okay, let's hear some of that.
Abyss of your eyes, and I see the failure. I am afraid to concede because it's all my own. I sit inside the noisiness of why can't I free the queen from her beehive to pursue the wisdom of a lone. I never thought I'd be the one to veer from the perfect path away from fear. Now I'm staring straight into the future's gold, dedicating myself to be bold. Nothing seems to take the place of fun. Take the place of fun. There is a kind of numbness in the air, like a paralyzing soul glitter, where grittiness and prettiness collide. There is a colorlessness to despair, and invisible chaos to bear, interwoven between love and pride. Never thought I'd be the one to veer from the perfect path away from fear. Now I'm staring straight into the sun, meditating on the future's gold, dedicating myself to be bold. Nothing seems to take the place of fun. Take the place of fun. Linger on the precipice of no, long enough, grief will start to show, blown like a tippet in the dark. Linger on the precipice of yes, long enough, you will become blessed. Poison ivy hands will leave their mark. Take the place of fun. Take the place of fun. Take the place of fun. Look into the abyss of your eyes, and I see the failure I'm afraid to concede, because it's all my own. Take the place of, sit inside the noisiness. Oh, why can't I free the queen from her behind to pursue the wisdom of a law? Take the place of fun. La da 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 da.
I'm gonna gush again.
Nice.
I'm gonna gush again. This is a pre-gusher warning. But that song and all the rest of the songs, but this song in particular just expresses who you are so wonderfully. It's such an uplifting song with a melody that just rings and resonates. I mean, it just, you can't listen to the song
Thank you,
and not
Lee.
feel it, and
Oh, that means so much to me, because I know what a music lover you are, and you
Yeah.
hear so many songs all the time, and you write about them so beautifully. But yeah, it's interesting. I feel in some ways like the kind of reimagining of that song helped me understand it better, and I probably prefer that version. It's different. They're just different. One is a little
Yeah.
bit more rocked out and driving, the original one, but it was
Yeah.
so much fun to add the mandolin and kind of replace the electric guitar melodies with mandolin. And I had a wonderful Americana duo that lives right up by me in upstate New York, Annalise and Ryan. They came and played and sang on it. And I think it has an earthier feel now, which is more of a nod to, for instance, maybe Indigo Girls, who are such a huge influence on me, and who've really inspired me with their lyrics and their storytelling. So I'm glad it all came together as it did,
Oh,
and
it
that
does.
you enjoy it. Thank you.
It's interesting because the two albums, The Other Side and Another Side, are related. They're joined,
Certainly.
and it's a yin and a yang kind of situation, which is very interesting to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with his music, but one of my biggest inspirations the last couple of years has been the artist Fantastic Negrito.
Oh
I'm just
yeah,
a
I saw
massive
him at
fan.
Americana a few weeks ago. Yeah,
Yeah, love him. And I love his writing. I love his
yeah.
band. And also the way that he is very eclectic in terms of how he presents his music, how he records it, different versions. He did something with that incorporated a film about the songs, and then he did a reimagining of one of his records too recently. And
Oh, okay.
rather than call it, just parentheses acoustic, I really latched onto that because I like that word, first of all. And I think it also, as a producer and an arranger, it gives the artist more freedom um, to reapproach the material with whatever angle they want to. It doesn't necessarily have to be a purist kind of acoustic only thing. It could be reimagined as mainly acoustic, but then you throw in, a Jupiter 8 synthesizer. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you want, as long as you are re-envisioning, reimagining it. And it's a word I'll probably continue to embrace and employ.
Yeah, the production sounded great through our fancy headphones that we're using here.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
What'd you say? Sorry, Bill. I didn't hear. Did you ask me a question?
Oh, I said the production sounded great with our fancy headphones.
Our fancy headphones.
Oh,
But it
thank
sounds
you. Yes,
great
with your
anyway.
fancy headphones.
Yeah,
I was listening in the car on the way down. I still have a CD player in my car, believe it or not.
I do believe it, and I'm grateful that you do because
Yeah.
I like a good CD still.
There you
I'm
go.
one of the few. I have my Bose player in my kitchen, and
perfect.
I'll pop in. I got a used Nick Cave album on my way home today from running some
terrific.
errands, and can't wait to put it in.
Hey, I can still hear the difference in a production of a CD. Of course, you have it mastered for CDs, especially for CDs, but versus streaming. So,
how often do you guys put on vinyl? I'm curious.
You were kind enough when I saw you at the record store in Knoxville. I got your vinyl, and I play vinyl quite a bit.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I like CDs, but I like vinyl because there's a different element, a different sound, and
It's true.
so,
yeah.
And look, I started.
You have to be a little more present. You actually have to be paying attention when side A ends to flip it over, right?
The only problem is when I'm reviewing a record, I can tell which track is which. So I'll make my note about, this is track number 2, this is track number 5. When I'm listening to an album, I can't really see where the groove is. I have to. Let's see, that was 4 songs. Okay,
Well, for all the singer-songwriters listening, I guess that's a tip-off to still put the numbers in front of the titles on the back of your album art.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Sage. That is very, very,
I don't always do that myself, but the latest one, I think I did. So
I think you
did.
Good
on me.
I think you did, indeed. So you mentioned now you have this dance production project coming up.
Yeah.
Is there also a new album, or would this be the album? The next album?
It's funny you should mention it. The dance thing will probably incorporate some oldies, some newbies.
Okay.
But I am working on a new record.
Great.
And I've been kind of chipping away at it for the better part of 6 months now, but I'm away so much that's sort of like, a few days a month that I get to work on it. And I just had a little stint recording, and it's been going really, really great. So I'm very excited about it. I do have a tentative album title. I don't know if I should announce that yet, but I could just be reckless.
Give us an exclusive. Come on, we're
yes,
professional
exclusive.
journalists here. We love exclusives.
Sure. It will be called Canopy. That's the title.
Canopy. Okay.
So, and obviously there are many connotations to that word, but certainly the idea of inclusivity and shelter and safety and, just different types of people being able to gather in one place under the same roof and just exploring that concept.
It's wonderful because again, this goes back to the fact that your music resonates not only with beautiful melodies, but there's the human aspect, the emotional aspect, and it just continues to do what you do so wonderfully. That's great. That's
Oh, thank you.
terrific.
I'm excited for you to hear it. I'm about maybe 3/4 complete with the project, and I would expect to have at least a single or two out early in the new year, and then
Okay.
hopefully the record by late spring, early summer. So,
Okay.
yeah.
It'll be well worth waiting for. Looking forward
Ah.
to that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, nice album cover. This,
Yeah.
right.
So,
That's
so artistic.
will
so
stand out
artistic.
amongst.
Yeah.
I have fun with it. If you're going to do it,
Yeah.
why not just put your whole self into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's all about that place of fun that you described so wonderfully. It is a place of fun, the entire album and everything that goes with it. So,
Well, I'm excited. I think we have a tentative scenario wherein I may be performing in your area in your concert series.
Yep.
I know it's not confirmed yet, so but it's probably
working
going to
towards
happen.
it.
Yeah,
We're
Okay.
I'm trying to get someone to take over some of the. I've got too many irons in the fire, so I can't confirm till I
Right.
get some things switched around.
He's a multi-talented, like you,
Sending
Rachel.
strength to you, Billy. I hope you can achieve that
Thank you.
balance because it's not easy, but with your charisma, I'm sure you can recruit
His charisma.
legions of helpers.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Well, we talked the more
now
I like
Billy
it.
is gushing. You told him he had charisma. He's gushing now. Oh God, Billy, this is all this moisture here. The gushing, please, enough gushing.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I think.
Do you two live right near each other? Are you
Yeah,
like
about
neighbor
half
buddies?
an hour, half an
Yeah.
hour, 40 minutes. Yeah.
Lee's a slow driver. It's about 20 from me. About 40 minutes.
No,
from
we're pals, and
Yeah.
the wonderful thing is, Rachel, he has this wonderful venue called The Station, and I do my
Right,
songs
right.
and stories series there, and he has his shows, and we do this
Mm-hmm.
together. But beyond all that, we're just pals, and
Yeah, we just have fun with it.
Aren't you lucky just to be able to share all these different
Yeah.
interests
yeah.
with the pal
I
is
think
very
so.
important in life.
I feel very blessed by
Yeah,
that.
and we get to go see a lot of great live shows.
Yay!
Close by. So
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Yeah, I
Really?
guess we're gonna have to head out here and let you go. We forgot to ask your website. I think I know what it
Yes.
is.
What is your
I'll let you
website
tell us.
before we go? What's your website?
Shockingly, it is rachelsage.com. And I spell it a little quirky, Rachael. But even if you spell it wrong the normal way, you still get there.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Got
hey,
you
we
covered.
appreciate you being here, folks. Be sure and check it out. That's great stuff. And of course,
Thank you for having me.
Hey,
Pleasure.
yeah, pleasure. Of course, big thanks to our famous author here, host Lee Zimmerman. Got a couple of books out on Amazon. And please like, share, and subscribe to My Backstage Pass on your favorite platform. And we'll see y'all next time. Happy trails.
Happy trails.